Once you start becoming real to yourself, everybody in your own life, everything in your life is gonna come to a different alignment. When you become real with yourself, right? When you become true to your thoughts, stand on your purpose, stand on your art, stand on the pathway that automatically is gonna make that change, that different achievement on your current situation. Things are not gonna be the same. Things are never gonna be the same. Things are gonna be different, right? Things are gonna be overflowing with such out of the sudden changes. You're gonna expect different situations. You're gonna expect different people, different languages, different art, different words, different energies, different financial opportunities. It's just a different life, right? And whenever you achieving this, it's definitely because you were definitely meant to be in this journey, be in this path. And that's one of the best cases for just people in general, for them to keep growing on who they are and just keep being on who they should be, right? So number one thing automatically, right? You have to just kill yourself, right? Kill yourself by killing your current self. Killing the current self that you are right now automatically is just gonna give a different message into your brain that I am not who I used to be. I am a new person now. I have a new path, and I will definitely get over this, right? So what I'm trying to say is that right now your brain is feeding off for everything that you do every day. What does Fredo do all the day? What did you do the whole day? What type of food do you eat? What do you do in your free time? Do you work out? Do you go for running? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have friends? Do you not have friends? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Like you're gonna have a certain similarities to your habits, and it's just gonna you have a loop, right? You have a thing, and you have a base thing where you're looping throughout the whole day. But once you kill that whole structure, once you kill those sort of habits, now your mind is gonna be different, right? And obviously your brain is gonna be dialing these signals that you gotta keep doing what you're doing, but you're not that concept no more. You're not that self concept no more, right? You're a different person now. So whenever you put your brain to different habits, different situations, instead of you smoking, now you're going to the gym. Instead of you wasting your time on the bed, now you're reading a book. Now you're talking to more people, right? And certain just frequencies are just gonna be opening to you much more and much more openly, and that is how you kill the current self. That is how you kill the person that is gonna have not the best upbringing for you, right? So that is why you need to kill your current self. In order for you to be real and now have a real within path of yourself, you have to change, right? You have to change your whole concept. So one thing that is certain for sure is that the same people that you are hanging out right now are not going to be the same people that are going to go with you in this path. You have to come to a realization that these people are not going to be on the same comprehension on the pathway that you want to be in, right? Now that you change your self concept, you're gonna have different standards. You're gonna have a different goal in the mind. You're gonna have a different accomplishments. You're gonna have different habits, and right. And so a lot of people, what they tend to do, they tend to just overcomplicate it. They tend to just hang around with the same environment that they used to be, but have a different mindset. When and realistically, it doesn't work like that. You are who you hang around with. No matter what, even if you change your mindset, you are who you hang around with. So at the end of the day, you're still gonna feed off from the environment that you still hang around with. No matter what, even if you change, even if you have a different mindset, the things may be different for you, but the habits are still gonna stay with you. Whenever you do hang around with the people that you shouldn't be hanging around with. And I'm not here to just automatically tell you to cut off all your friends, right? What I'm saying is that it's the difference between cutting them off and becoming distance from them. Distance basically means that you're having space within yourself and having space with them. You're not in the middle. You're not in the middle trying to get attention, trying to do all these things, fulfillments and pleasure out of like the things that y'all do, right? There's differences, right? And the things that is most importantly here is the respect for yourself. Either you're gonna respect your new self concept, or you're just gonna go back into who you used to be, right? So you have to stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for your true path. Don't let anybody get in the way. It doesn't matter if it's your own family, it's your own girlfriend, it's your own grandmother, it's your own neighbor, it's your own best friend. Stand by who you are always, because they don't understand. The only one who understands is yourself. And if you don't have a grasp, if your brain, if your mind is not telling you, hey, we need to focus on what we need to focus. Hey, we're not supposed to hang around with them right now. Hey, we need to start focusing on our goals now. We're wasting a lot of time. You know, like if your brain is not signaling this like type of like messages of you don't feel some type of guilt because you're not working on your goal, then you definitely need to start standing on what you firmly were meant to do, right? And I'm not here to tell you that this is forced. This is not a pathway that you're gonna feel forced. You're gonna have to feel like taking out your energy, right? But you can't just multitask. Multitask doesn't exist. What have you ever gotten by multitasking? Let's say for example you are multitasking, right? You're for example you're talking to your friends. You're playing the game while you're supposed to be reading a book, right? And you're reading this book while you're playing, right? But let's say forbid you do read pages, but forbid that like are you gonna remember what you really were meant to read? Are you really gonna understand what you were really meant to understand? Keep in mind that you're still multitasking, right? Multitasking takes focus out of your attention. You have to pay attention to everything that's gonna lead you into your growth. So multitasking is out of the way. Keep that out of keep that out of sight. That is not something that anybody should do, right? If you want to multitask on reading books, I mean that's a different sense, right? But what I mean is that you can't prioritize different things at the same time, right? And like I was mentioning, you have to stand for yourself, stand on responsibilities, and stand for your growthness, and prioritize your own self the most. Because if you're not prioritizing yourself, who else are you prioritizing? People? Man, help yourself first, man. Help yourself, right? So it's always gonna come to a point where you have to train your mind, right? Automatically, day one, you're not gonna have like this mindset that you're ready for this. No, like I was mentioning, your mind still has to be fitted off from the new priorities, from the new standards, from the new perspective. So once you input the new perspective, that's when everything changes. That's when your peace, that's when your own relaxation mind state, that's when your own priorities, that's when your own habits start growing out of you, right? They start making sense. You start realizing yourself more. You start asking yourself more questions regarding on how can I do more of this? How can I get better at this? How can I keep receiving from the world, right? And that's when true peace comes within yourself. That's when self-love opens to you and self-development becomes just a normal thing to you, right? And people tend to think that self improvement, self development is like really hard, it's really complicated when it's not. Realistically, that's what it should be every day. Every day should be a day for you to be growing, right? But yeah, man, like I was mentioning, you have to be real with yourself. Stand on your path. Nobody else is gonna guide you but yourself and your own world. The universe is gonna make sure you know where you're going, right? But you're never gonna know where you're gonna be at. But at the end of the day, you're always gonna have an idea or a concept on what you wanna do. But yeah, man, it's been Fredo Saga. Let's leave the dimension expansion with some new game and let's input into the real world. Let's eat it.